Hey, this is Derica, your host on the Happiness Recipe Show 2.0, where top experts are sharing their personal stories of breaking through their own fear and resistance and into living their happy life, and of course, how you can do the same. I'm very excited to announce and speak with our lovely top expert today, Mrs. Lynn Kitchen.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Derica. I'm proud to be here and happy to be here.
Woohoo, you guys. If you don't know her yet, she is a powerhouse. I'm going to get right into her bio just in case if you haven't met her, and then we'll jump into those juicy questions. All right, you guys. So, Lynn Kitchen is an executive producer of Positive Media and a financial strategic advisor. Lynn produced a national cable television show called World's Greatest Motivators, featuring 14 best of the best speakers on the planet, which was broadcast on multiple channels and aired to over 300 million households in the US. Woo-hoo! Yes, and now in syndication to over 17 countries. Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing. Okay. In the investment world, Lynn was considered a pioneer, breaking ground as one of the first women owners of a successful investment broker dealer firm in California, and enjoyed a 34-year career as a financial executive and advisor. Lynn says when she finally stopped putting everybody else first and started believing in her own dreams, then she began practicing what it would be like if she went for her really big dreams, she is here to encourage you that if you really want to be happy, go for your big dreams.
Yes, that's right.
That's what we're here
right.
for.
That's what we're here for. That's what we're meant for.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Derica. That was really lovely to hear that.
Doesn't it always feel like, oh, is that me?
Mhm.
That's powerful. Powerful lady here, you guys. I always say get your blue pen, your notebook, your journal ready because there's going to be some valuable nuggets of gold, tons of beautiful, powerful information dropped on this show. So have your pen ready. All right, Lynn, let's jump on in. Tell us your story of what led you to do what you're doing today.
Okay, thank you so much. I love to share that I had no clue or idea that I could be an executive producer of a television show that brought inspiration and motivation to over 350 million households and now continues to be in syndication worldwide. And I just, I never thought that I had that in me. In fact, I really felt like my whole life was all about balance sheets and analyzing companies and creating financial statements and helping people to earn assets in the stock market. Mostly it was the stock and bond market, which was my area of expertise. And so much so that when you have 35 years as an expert in an industry such as that, you think that that's going to be your whole life forever, right? You would think that. But so I had no clue that there was more.
Yeah.
But there's always more. I'm here to tell you, there's always more. Always more. There's more of what's calling us to be bigger, better, greater than we thought, because as Steve Jobs used to say, we really do not know the capacities that we have as an individual. We do not understand from where we are sitting at any one point in our life. Yeah. We don't get how great and grand we're called into being. So the story is that I had an awakening after 35 years in the investment advisory business. I was kind of forced out of that business by a major, not really a setback, but it was an stage 4 cancer, and that not only was once. I went back to work I was president of the company at the time. I went back to work and worked harder, harder after recovering from stage 4 cancer. And I was wondering, what am I trying to prove? But after another 7 years, I got another diagnosis of more cancer. And that's when I thought, you know what, the universe is giving me a big, big challenge here, or certainly like, wake up. There's something more calling
Yes.
to you. And there was a part of me that just kept feeling at that time, isn't there a little bit something more that I'm meant to do? Not that what I was doing wasn't satisfying, and I was good at it, and never thought that there was anything beyond that. But there was a part of me that was knowing that there was more to be for me. And so that diagnosis of ill health was a stepping stone. And truly, it was like a freedom gate being opened for me, because it gave me the commandment, really, to shift from who I was being and entertain new possibilities of who I could be. And that is where the happiness factor comes in, that I want to relate to your specialty. Those of us who are looking for something to make us happy, look no further than the possibility that you have more within you that you really don't even know exists. So I gave myself a challenge to come up with what more could I possibly be? Who could I be? Who could I reinvent myself into being? Yeah. And it was a conscious question of not only what would I love, what would make me happy. As a result, I found a husband. I fell in love, found a husband, moved to Florida from California, and created a whole new life here based on what would make me happy.
Wow.
And in that discovery, I discovered that what really, really excited my soul was creating positive media, because what we are barraged with in today's media environment, everything that you listen to on the news, it can make you sick. Yeah. It can make you sick. Yeah. It's just very, very negative. And then when we listen to our own critic within, it's like we all have our own radio station 24/7 broadcasting to our own souls saying, you're not worth it. Who do you think you are? Just stop that. What makes you think that you can do X, Y, Z, this, that, and the other? And what makes you think that you can be happy anyway? I mean, you are here to be in this little tiny box, and hey, just get over it. It's miserable forever. You might as well go ahead and create your own grave, because that's what we have, our own negative media broadcasting to ourselves at all times. Yeah. And what I realized was there's so much more, and there are experts in the field of positive development. There are experts that can help us all. So I got real excited about bringing those voices into one place and crafting a new chorus that we can all listen to, crafting a new symphony where we can listen to the best of the best of the best on the planet today, of thought leaders and personal development experts who have been teaching, speaking on stages all over the world, some 20, 30, 40 years, people with wisdom, people with a skill level. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to just get them all together in one room, on one stage, ask them one question: what does it take to motivate yourself? Wow. What does it take to motivate yourself to reinvent yourself into somebody who could be living a happy life?
Wow.
And that's my story. That's what happened. and in setbacks along the way, but it was a vision that I began to share with other people, and I noticed how it resonated with others.
Oh yeah.
They too felt like, well, I'd like to get away from my own negative thinking, that chorus within, that critic within, and I would like to have some tools of positive media that I can just go to and quickly get, like a popcorn effect.
Yeah.
And so the first person who said yes to me on that vision was my current partner, Julie Jones Hamilton, who is my production partner. We created a production company called Kitchen Hamilton Productions, Lynn Kitchen, Julie Hamilton. And we are now in the business of creating positive media. And this, you mentioned that television show, which was season 1. That's only season 1, because after that, we have stage upon stage upon stage and expert upon expert who have positive media messages. And I'm so excited because I've got work to do. I mean, I don't have time to waste. There's so many people with so many positive ideas and messages, including you, Derica, including you. I mean, the importance of happiness, to get that message out.
Yes. Yes.
We need it. We need it. We need it. We're running out of time. We need positive media.
That's it, baby. And
there you go.
I dropped my pen. 1 second.
Yeah. So thank you. I'm just, we're creating you're watching positive media right here, right now with Derica.
Right here, right now. You heard it from Lynn Kitchen first. I mean, it's all about the positive media. I want to first go back and just say how I honor and love how you just gave yourself. You were so vulnerable in speaking about your past and your breakthrough of, what you were diagnosed with. And that's huge, because a lot of, what you hear, and a lot of us, we would get some news like that and go down. You know what I mean? Like really fall apart and think, oh, life is kind of over. That's some big, scary news to receive. But
twice.
Twice. You did it. I mean, you heard it twice. And each time, I love how you shifted, you pivoted that information as a wake up. It was this awakening moment of being like shaken by the universe or higher powers that be. And there's more. There's more to this. It's not a diagnosis of now you're done. It's a diagnosis of now let's shift. That's what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, exactly right. Thank you for hearing that. Yes. That is exactly my interpretation. And I really felt that if my time was up, my time on this universe was up. I mean, many people leave this universe by means of a car crash that can happen without just cross the street or get a bullet or something. We cannot see around corners. We don't know what is in our future. And yet I felt, well, hey, if this is how I'm supposed to leave this planet, great, I'm ready, I'm going. That'll be good.
Wow.
And if there's something more, let's explore. If there's something more, let's explore. So, hey, I was given a gift of the grace of an extra day and another extra day and another extra day. And today is even another extra day.
Yes.
So what's more for today? And that's how,
wow.
That's how I want to now, challenge those of us who feel like this is the last, the most boring life, there's nothing left for me. Is that all there is? No, it isn't. If you can be open to the possibility that there's more, then guess what? There is more. There is so much more.
Yes. Oh, this is so gorgeous. This is so powerful, you guys. No matter what poopy diaper we're sitting in, no matter what crap we get, no matter what news we get, you guys, it's an opportunity to switch it as a wake up call, to switch it into something positive. Like maybe this could be my last day. Or maybe this, just thinking about, well, how do I live for today? How do I do things that make me happy? Using that just like heavy pull to motivate you, to propel you upward, because it doesn't matter what news. Obviously, Lynn is saying stage 4 cancer. No matter what news you get, it can be used in a certain way to feel gratitude in this moment, to start, living different.
And do something different.
Yeah.
Shift it up, change it up. So I'll give you a little example of what I did just in terms of recovery that made all the difference. At that time, I had a boyfriend who I later married.
Okay.
And I had said to him, this is kind of a funny story. I had said to him at the time, I said, you know what? It doesn't look good here. It does not look good. I think you need to go find a new girlfriend, because the prognosis here is like terminal. And you don't need to go through all that. You don't need to nurse a terminal girlfriend. I think you should go out and find a new girlfriend.
Wow.
And he looked at me and he said, I'm moving in. And he said, we're going to make it fun. And so what we did every day, he bought me a new bicycle. I hadn't had a moment in 35 years of the stock market, where you got your head down and you're looking at the charts, and, you don't go outside. Just like, or at least I didn't. He got me a bicycle. I hadn't been on a bicycle since I was 18 or something like that. And I got on that bicycle and he would lead and I would just kind of follow along, and I got half a block and then I was peter out. And then the next day, maybe 3/4 a block. And within a week, maybe a block. I got a block, and then 2 blocks, and then 3 blocks, and then pretty much a 1/4 mile. And every day we do a little more. And the breeze that you can generate, even on a hot day, you can generate breeze by being on a bike. It changed my life. And he said, okay, so we're going to get moving. We're going to move and we're going to have fun and we're going to laugh. And so we had all these jokes that we told each other. We told jokes. I became a pretty good joke teller.
Yeah.
And, small things of happiness that can bring joy. And of course, I would read books like Bernie Siegel's book on how to infuse your autoimmune system by laughter, and
Yes.
by listening to funny movies and making sure that you have humor in your life. And that level of happiness I was shocked how much I lacked laughter on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I was really shocked, and thank God he brought that into my world, and I married that dude.
Good job. That's beautiful. Like, I love that story too. These stories are so powerful because we all are feeling, we can relate in some ways, when you said like, we don't notice how much we go into a box and just kind of get in the groove of life and on this momentum, these routines. And it's not until at some point something happens where we have to like get out of there, open our eyes. And we're like, oh my gosh, I haven't been to a comedy show, or I haven't danced, or I haven't, went to a party, or like any of those things that are completely therapeutic and healing to the body.
Right. Or put on your red shoes, girl.
Yeah. That is so good.
Go dance.
Go dance. You guys, these are some tips. I hope you have your blue pen. Dance, comedies, laughter. Who was that book? I think was it called The Power of Laughter by, was it Norman Vincent? I can't remember. It was a really good book.
Power of Laughter. I don't know who wrote that book, but we should all go get it, right? I love the title. The Power of Laughter. Mm-hmm.
It's all about personal stories of curing cancer and different diseases in the body, all with laughing. So I have to remember the exact title, but it's very powerful.
Yeah, we'll find out and chat it in. We'll chat it.
Yes.
We'll chat it in here.
Can you share with us, Lynn? So You talked about that negative broadcasting that we have. We all have this like negative radio station in our minds. And at some point, you had that radio station was going. And what did you do to break through it or tame it down, like shut it up somehow? What were some things that you did to break through that?
Oh, well, thank you for, that's a good question. I have to think back. That diagnosis is really kind of far in my rearview mirror now.
Yeah.
That was in the early 2000, and then second diagnosis 2009. But one thing I didn't do, let me tell you what I didn't do. I went once to a cancer survivor meetings and all that, and you sit around and you listen to, well, I have this cancer here and the doctor had to do that, and
Yeah.
now I'm like this, I can't talk like that. And I thought, don't go, I'll never go back. Don't go where people are rehashing their surgeries.
Yeah.
Don't do it, and don't even do it to yourself. I never think about it. I think about the results of I'm alive. My gosh, what a gift.
Yeah.
I have a gift here. So it is in your where you place your attention. So they do say, and many of the motivational speakers that Julie and I have had on our stages, I think one of the common denominators that they have said in their messages is that what you place your attention on, that's what the universe reads. It doesn't read your intention. Like, you can have the best intention of the whole world, like, I intend to be happy today.
Yeah.
I intend to have laughter today. That intention is weaker than when you place your attention on the laughter and go do it. Go tell a joke. Go be watching something of laughter. Go hang out with Derica. Get the best of the best happiness tips and tricks, and feed yourself, nourish yourself with your attention, because what you place your attention on, we all know this, grows. We all know that. And so the cells of your body also are this very same way. Your cells of your body will vibrate and to whatever it is that you are feeding it. So be careful, be attentive what it is that you're feeding this wonderful brain of ours that gives messages to every one of the cells.
Ooh,
Does that make sense?
That's beautiful. Yeah. So first, don't rehash on the bad things, because that's number one thing that's stealing our happiness is our focus on what went wrong, the bad news. So that's a don't tip of, don't do that, you guys. Don't go
Don't do
retell that
that.
same story.
And you have to realize and recognize when that's happening. And I just want to ask you to be gentle on yourself on that point. We often don't realize it is subconscious. It is a program that many of us have been raised with, and we don't even know what's going on. We don't even know that we're giving ourselves negative feedback because, it's like a silent worm tape that's going on. You shouldn't do that. You should have, look at the mistake you made. Look at what that cost you. Don't you ever do that again. Don't risk falling in love because look at the time that happened before and blah, blah, blah. Because those tapes are subconsciously there. So you have to have a level of awareness going, wait a minute, who's giving me that tape right now? What thought pattern am I really thinking? Am I thinking that I'm not worth it? Am I thinking that I don't deserve to be happy?
That's deep. That's so good. I love how you made that aware here, because most of it is subconscious, where I always say apples don't fall too far from the tree. So it's like we're products of our environment, we're products of our parents, and a lot of like in my 30s, I'm recognizing that, oh, my mom does that. Oh, my dad does that. I'm still doing that to this day. Like, oh, it takes that a level of awareness, because without it, it's just running autopilot down in the subconscious. Those worried thoughts, those painful thoughts that we have. But becoming, I love how you're saying, becoming more aware of it and just gentle with it. You said gentle, just see it come up. And then as we see it, don't judge it. Just being able to say, okay, enough with that, and let's try this. Let's try this thought.
Yeah, and try it on. I had a interesting childhood where there was not much happiness, or at least, it really felt that way.
Yeah.
And there was one person in my whole constellation of family relations, and she was laughing all the time. And I used to go, what? And I would, when I got to be a teenager, I had the opportunity to travel to go visit her. And she was an older cousin. And I was fascinating that she would laugh all the time. Now, her circumstances weren't wealthy, weren't, great. She was just a happy person. She generated it from the inside out. Her background was, pretty grim, actually, but she wasn't that. She was not a product at all of her background. And I thought, how can that happen? I studied her, and I was maybe only 18 because I was unhappy. I was so unhappy, miserable, unhappy. But I saw somebody happy in spite of her circumstances.
Yes.
In spite of all the unhappiness around her, in spite of all of the unhappy people. And one of the things I noticed was that she surrounded herself with happy people. And of course, I was invited in because I was willing to become happy and be happy with her. And, it was like one of the most open, amazing moments of my life. Shifted me completely, just 1 week with her. And that is what happiness can do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a decision to be happy. I learned that was it. It was a decision that I could create an attitude, an environment in my own. This is an attitude production place right here. This is your own media production house.
Nice.
You get to decide what is the attitude environment. Like, is it going to be raining all the time here? Raining unhappy thoughts? Or are you going to create the sunny day? This is your environment, and no one can create that but you. You are not in somebody else's gloom and doom space. If you have a gloom and doom space, it's because it's yours.
It's
you
like
created it, or at least you continue.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not aware of it, but once you are, then hey, it can be changed. It's changeable. Get some help though, because it does. It's easier when you're around people who already have changed their internal environment, and then you go, oh, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. It reminds me of, you guys, like, you ever go around, that those family members, and like the whole next day you just feel kind of like grungy.
Slimy.
Yeah, you feel like you're just stewing on what was said, and you're just absorbing all those energies and thought process of everyone else. We really do absorb this energy. We emit and transmit and emit, and so it's like you feel it. You can go around certain activities and people and functions or whatever, and immediately feel that energy, that vibration they're throwing off. And I think that was a big pivot point for me too in life. Just like, oh, when I would go to these people's house, I would feel like this. When I go here, I would feel like this. Like, what is that? Right? So surround yourself. That's a very positive, powerful nugget there. Surround yourself with with the people that have the character and personality that you want,
You want to
that are,
feel. It is a
yes,
feeling tone. It is a vibration, and it's also a standard. I think it's a higher standard
yeah.
of the life that you wish to feel. That's the life that you are emitting to others, and we don't have a lot of time left here. It's time for us to realize that um, who we're being and what we want is is precious. I mean, this is precious, and we have the capacity to be generative, generative beings, so that that which is within you that you hold is, what you emit. And we don't need to be around negative emitting people.
It's the truth, but we don't. I used to say, be a vibrational snob. You guys think about having those standards, right? Where it's we don't, we think, well, these are our loved ones. We should be around them, or these are traditions or
Be
whatever it is.
informed.
But
You can be informed without creating a place for yourself where you imbibe too long for too long the negative aspects. Now I'm talking about real media. Now I'm talking about television as we know it, the news channels of CNN, constantly negative news.
yep,
And because if you tune into that for too long and it becomes your go-to, um, or if you tune into murder mysteries and the things that are the worst part of us as a human race, and imbibe that for too long, then you you're gonna you're gonna muddy the beautiful place that you in which you live. Yes, you can be informed. Um, Take it in bite sizes. Like 5 minutes is enough to get the world news,
right.
and move on to create from the inside out the world that you want to live.
Ooh,
Does that make sense?
that's so good. Yes, because that meets us where we are. There's a lot of people that we listen to the news driving to work, where we have the news on, I don't know, on breaks, like everywhere. And so when we say just even 5 minutes, be informed. It's okay. Know what's going on, but like that's it. Like, not too long, you guys, because it's a real thing. We really do absorb what's happening. All of a sudden, we're thinking negative. Maybe we start having nightmares. We're feeling the energy, and you know this to be true. So it's really protecting yourselves, which then you do emit a totally different frequency. And now, guess what? You are being the positive media. You are now creating and shifting change and emitting a very positive energy for your brothers and sisters all around you, your family, around you. And that's what you want to do, right? So, yeah, say it, Lynn. Yes, five
Yes, that's
minutes.
what you want to do. And that's what hanging around here with Derica happens, because you will shift and change your mindset, then you shift and change your energy, then you shift and change your circumstances, you shift and change your universe, and then you become a whole universe of happiness. This is the truth. This is the truth. We get to choose our universe of happiness. We get to choose that. And
Yes.
isn't it wonderful that we get a chance to create what it is that we wish to be living? Isn't that wonderful? Um, you know, at least I would say in America, we have that luxury. I understand there's lots of cultures and countries in the world where um, there's, that choice is impeded by, um, the force of governments or whatever it is that keep people in slavery and poverty and negative circumstances. And that's part of our charge, to stay generating a happy place so that we can have an impact of real positive change.
Yes.
Happens by, positive change doesn't happen over by negative thoughts.
Mm-mm.
A positive change can only happen when the light overcomes that darkness, and that there's some new choices. And hey, that's part of creating your own positive media, and it's
Mm-hmm.
part of then joining Derica and me. Let's come on to the front line here, because
Yes.
Derica is broadcasting here now, today, now, to excite and invite you to come on to this front line, because we've got impact to do. We've got negative to overcome, and we have positive to replace it with.
Yes. And it starts right here with you guys. We are so proud of you for tuning in, for the time that you are, 40 minutes. Imagine your vibration at this point. Can you feel it? There's a shift in your being because of what your attention is on. So if we were to do full circle right now, attention is attraction, what Lynn started with. What we put our intention on becomes. Those thoughts turn into things, our reality, and we all want, I know what you want. You want to create change in the world. You want positivity. You don't want to see this crappy news. Well, it all starts with you. It all starts with your thoughts. What are you thinking about? And Lynn, you said it so beautifully. This is so inspiring. Can you share with us, Lynn, because you've been in this game of transformation now. Do you have any story for so long? Have any stories you could share with us of someone where you've seen them go into the grungies, we're calling it, into a place where it was the dark and guided into the light? Do you have a story, a testimony you could share with us?
You know, let me think. I you just have described the hero's journey. I think we all go through the hero's journey. I think every one of us has a story where we are in the dark. So yes, I have my own story. you know, um, Derica, you have your own story where there was a moment, I'm sure, in your life where you just wanted to pack it in, give it up, and say, that's,
Absolutely.
is that all there is? And for everyone watching, that, you know, don't don't feel left out here. We all go through that. That's part of being alive. That's part of being a human. There is both good and bad, up and down, negative and positive, and many of our experiences we learn the hard way. You know,
Yep.
so I think it is. I can't really think of one person to highlight at this point. Certainly, myself, I can highlight. Um, my partner Julie Jones Hamilton has been through, many. I think you interviewed her, and
Yeah.
probably she shared with you some of her stories. I don't think that there's a person alive that doesn't have um, a pity party story, or a close brush with death.
Right.
And if you haven't, you probably will. No doubt about it. And there's always that place within us that that it's almost like we have to explore the depths
Yeah.
for us to really appreciate what it is that we are meant to become and to be. And then that's when we truly can understand what we're here to do to help others and how we can help others. So there's that discovery, but the transformation from the despair into happiness, that pivot point is a fascinating place, that fascinating pivot point where you're all the way down to the very, very, very bottom.
Yeah.
And you do hit bottom. That pivot point where you begin to move up, what is that? I have studied that too, and that is a decision.
Yes.
Your own
Ooh.
decision. Now, some people make that decision, when they get down this far, and some people don't make that decision until they're way, way, way
Rock
far
bottom.
down. Maybe even in jail, maybe even worse, maybe even close to suicide, maybe, I don't know.
Yep.
But there is a moment between you and you when that decision is made. And that you never go back to, because from that point on, that's why we call it a pivot point, because you pivot and you really do turn into a new direction. And so all you have to do is, if you're tired of being unhappy, make a new decision. That can be your pivot point today. And you can be looking at unhappiness, unhappiness, unhappiness. And if you make a decision to pivot and turn this way, guess what? That unhappiness is behind you.
That is beautiful.
Because look, over here is everything over here is completely new, different. It doesn't have the same over there. This is where I'm heading, and I stay in this direction. And that's a decision.
Oh, that's delicious. I'm like a little kid. I just want to jump up and down. It is so true, you guys. It's those moments of like fetal position, crying, depths of despair, sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like, we all have that. I love, Lynn, how you went so big, because every single person on this planet has a story, a unique, beautiful, wild story. It's the contrast and clarity. So if you are in that pivot point, because I've been there lots of times, if you are in that point where you don't know where else to go, you feel like, what am I going to do next? Life sucks. I mean, you're crying yourself to sleep, whatever it is. That's that raw moment of power where you can make a firm decision, not a play around thing, a firm decision. You guys know, you've done it.
You know it. When it's not a play around decision. You know that. You know that. You know it. You know, because I'll tell you that you know it, because you know your life depends upon it.
Yes. Your life, your kid's life, your something, like, you know, life depends on it.
You know it. Yeah, you're right. Either your life or someone else you love. And that's it. And that's when you make that decision, and that's when, please, look to Derica for positive newness. Come back and imbibe everything that she's producing here, and play it over and play it over. And, you know, go to places like, I can give you a resource, if that's okay.
Yes. Can you give us a resource and also a happy hack? Like something that, so resource I want to hear, but I also want to hear what Lynn does, because I think we all are so curious. She's a top motivator herself. Look, you guys, please follow her. Her videos, her messages are so inspiring. So what is something that you do, Lynn, when you just have a little down moment, some wind comes in, you know, some human experience thing happens, and you feel down? So your resource, and then a happy hack of what kind of turns you around.
Okay. Well, first of all, I do indulge myself. When I have a happy hack, I go, okay, this is going to be so bad, I have to tell you. So warning, you may not want to do this, but it's my own happy hack. The first thing I do is I go get a cupcake with lots of icing, because I love icing. Well, okay, that's one of my indulgences, but I don't get a whole, you know, like six-pack tray of them like you would get at Sam's Club.
Yeah.
I get one really juicy cupcake with white icing as big as it can get, and I just like get icing all over me. I indulge myself first, because that soothes my little girl who is unhappy. And so that soothes her first.
Okay.
I soothe her first, and then I think my happiness hack is to get up and dance, and put on some salsa music and just dance it out.
This is so beautiful. As you know, this show is about the happiness experts, and I want to say about 75% of all the experts have said music and dance.
Is that right? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so that's you're in the catbird seat to take that statistic and really teach it, because that's amazing. 75%.
I've also
Wow.
music and dance, you guys,
Interesting.
you can feel it. And I think it's the power of the frequency. So it's not just like a sad song, but probably something that just like lights you up. Some kind of like good beat, good
Mhm.
music, some happy childhood
A,
song even, right?
right. A good cupcake and and then a happy dance. A happy dance. Whatever your happy dance is.
We all
And then
have a
I
happy dance, y'all. Come on, we do
get a happy
it.
dance. That's right. Mm, 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 mm,
We
mm, mm,
do.
mm, mm, mm.
Especially when you said childhood. I love that because we all have these childhood memories of there was something, a date with a parent or, a cookie from grandma or something, you guys, where it triggers a really happy sensation in your body. So that was powerful gold right there. I love that. Yes.
Yes, yeah. Don't deny the power of your child within. The
Mm-mm.
sweet, sweet, sweet child innocence, the place within you that is innocent, and
Yeah.
that we're loving that part of you right now,
Yes.
right now.
Let that inner child out. Go wild and dance today, you guys. Look silly.
Mhm.
Yes.
So that's my happy hack. And then the resource I have is selfishly, I'd love to offer you this resource because it is, in my own opinion, extremely powerful. And that is the show that we produced has 14 experts that have made a career of motivating others on stages. Motivational speaking can really, give you some inspiration that can take you out of your seat and kind of shift you and find that place within you that is where your spark is, where, what is it that's most important to you that you can spark into reinventing yourself and going for your big dream and going to, dream again, to dream again, to dream again.
Yeah.
So, The World's Greatest Motivators is the name of the television show that we produced. And it gives you 14 different choices of personalities that
Mm.
say the same thing, but they say it in their own way. And it gives you an opportunity to hear different, it said differently by different people. Some old, some young, some medium, some high energy, some lower energy, some medium. But it's a whole amazing array of people and resources for you. So you can go to a website. It's worldsgreatestmotivators.com
Yep.
/free gifts. And there we have been fortunate enough to have each one of those motivators gift to you, the audience, a free gift from them that you can taste test. You can taste test some
That's
of their
so beautiful.
best material, some of their best content, their best. And then
Oh,
later on, Julie and I are going to come out with our own. So then you can come and hang out with us.
yes. You guys, we just talked about how we become our environment. We become what we put our attention to. 14 top tippity top world's greatest motivators. You're watching that, your attention's on that. What do you think's gonna happen? I mean, you are shifting, transforming, you are picking up, you are becoming a part of them. Isn't that
Yeah.
powerful?
And that's, when you think of it, these folks have risen to the top of the personal development and um, personal transformational business over time. It's taken them a lot of time, but they have a skill set. Otherwise, they wouldn't be called best of the best.
Yeah.
People like Jack Canfield and Les Brown and Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey and it's all the big names. Brian Tracy,
Mm.
Dr. Reverend Michael Beckwith. Did I mention Jack Canfield? Lisa Nichols. Just
Yes. Oof.
Sharon Lecter. These are
Yeah.
the top of that industry, or at least that's what the industry has demarked them. Now it costs a lot of money to go to any one of their conferences, to
Yes.
go to any one of them. So we really feel like we're doing a public service to just gift it to you, a smorgasbord of tasty morsels, so that you can begin to shift and change the
Station.
input that you put in. Input, you know.
Oh, that's so gorgeous. And the link is below this video, you guys, and also all the information on how to contact Lynn Kitchen. You can find her. Links are there. Free gift is there. The video's here, you guys. This has been such an amazing hour spent here. Lynn, I can't thank you enough. This has been so amazing. I feel
You're
honored.
welcome.
Oh, thank
No,
you.
well, no. The honor's mine. The honor's mine. And I just wanted to give, hey, Derica, her work is heart from the heart, and love is all there is. So if what it is that you are really, really searching for is that happy factor and that love factor, Derica is, just keep coming back, because she's got the gold. She's got the magic. And thank you, Derica. This has been so much fun.
Thank
So
you.
much
Thank
fun.
you. So much fun, you guys. And thank you for watching. We love you. We know that after this episode, you'll never be the same. Please comment, email us, let us know what are thinking. What are you feeling now? Definitely get that over to Lynn. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you on the next episode. Have a beautiful day.